The Mughal Empire was a powerful Muslim empire that ruled the Indian subcontinent for more than 3 centuries. The Mughal Empire was founded by Zahiruddin Babur, who was a conqueror from the Farghana Valley in Central Asia. The Mughal Empire was expanded and developed during the reign of Akbar, who appointed governors in different provinces and developed the administration. Akbar developed the economy of the empire and made trade agreements with the Portuguese. He also established a highway police force in order to protect the trade route between Bengal and Afghanistan. However, Akbar later began to lose popularity because he began to deviate from the foundations of Islamic justice. Akbar became despotic and tyrannical, and he established his own religion, which was influenced by Hinduism, declaring himself as a god. As a result, he faced rebellions and opposition from Muslim preachers such as Sheikh Ahmed Sirhindi, who became one of the most influential figures in the history of the empire. Because of his opposition to Akbar's policies, Sheikh Ahmed was imprisoned. Sheikh Ahmed was eventually released from prison during the reign of Akbar's son Jahangir, who invited him to his royal court. When Sheikh Ahmed arrived at Jahangir's palace, he refused to perform the royal ritual of bowing to the ruler, as it was against the Islamic belief that only God is worthy of worship. Jahangir was furious and he ordered him to prostrate according to the royal etiquette. Sheikh Ahmed replied, "I have never prostrated to anyone except Allah, and I will never do so." Jahangir was astonished by the bravery of Sheikh Ahmed and he became influenced by his teachings. As a result, Jahangir abandoned the un-Islamic rituals which were introduced during the reign of Akbar, such as prostrating to the ruler. Jahangir also rebuilt mosques which were demolished by Akbar, and he constructed many new mosques such as the Patthar Mosque in Haryana and the Moti Mosque in Lahore. Because Jahangir abandoned un-Islamic practices, he was able to re-establish stability by gaining widespread support from Muslims across the empire. Jahangir also abolished many of the taxes which were imposed by Akbar. He developed the economy and formed strong ties with the Ottoman Empire and the Khanate of Bukhara, and he made trade agreements with European companies, which led to industrial development. Jahangir also ordered the construction of more wells, roads, and irrigation canals. Architectural achievements continued during the reign of Shah Jahan, who built the famous Taj Mahal Palace. He also built great mosques such as the Jamia Mosque in Delhi, the Wazir Khan Mosque in Lahore, the Shah Jahan Mosque in Sindh, and the Nagina Mosque in Agra. Shah Jahan also developed the Mughal military and built the Jaigarh fort in Rajasthan. During the reign of Shah Jahan, the Mughal Empire reached its prime in terms of architecture, science, and literature. The Mughal Empire produced great mathematicians such as Ataullah Rashidi, who wrote books on arithmetic and algebra, and historians such as Abdul Haq Dehlavi, who wrote the book entitled Tarikh-e-Haqqi, which is a history of Islam in the Indian subcontinent. The Mughal Empire eventually began to decline when Shah Jahan's extravagant personal spending and lifestyle created massive inequality and poverty in the empire, which led to widespread discontent and revolts. The last strong ruler of the Mughal Empire was Aurangzeb, who fought corruption within the government and banned the extravagant rituals and royal celebrations which prevailed during the rule of Shah Jahan. Aurangzeb established a strict rule of law throughout the empire and compiled a book of Islamic legal rulings known as Fatawa-e-Alamgiri. Aurangzeb also protected the empire from external threats and defeated British and Portuguese pirates. However, after the death of Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire began to crumble, as the rulers who came after him could not hold the empire together, and the governors returned to their corrupt ways. One of the main causes of Mughal decline was the corruption of Mughal governors, who were granted huge amounts of land and gifts by the Mughal rulers in exchange for their loyalty. As a result, governors became autonomous and the rule of the empire became decentralized. Another cause of Mughal decline was that princes and governors wasted money on extravagant un-Islamic rituals that were influenced by Hinduism. Rituals such as the building of expensive shrines were endorsed by many Muslim scholars who were paid by the Mughal government. The Islamic scholar and reformer known as Shah Waliullah Dehlavi, who lived during the late Mughal period, spoke out against these rituals. In one of his anti-government speeches, Shah Waliullah addresses the Muslim scholars that approved these un-Islamic practices. He stated, "O you self-proclaimed preachers, you have left the straight path and wandered on wrong paths. You are calling people to false practices by adopting every deviant ritual. Was this the way of the Prophet?" Because of the corruption and weakness of the rulers that came after Aurangzeb, the emerging British Empire was eventually able to gain indirect control of India by turning Mughal governors and independent rulers against each other. The first Mughal governor to resist British colonialism after the death of Aurangzeb was Nawab Siraj-ud-Dawla, who was the Mughal governor of Bengal. In 1757, Siraj-ud-Dawla expelled the British East India Company from Bengal after they constructed a fort without the government's permission. Siraj-ud-Dawla captured the British fort and sentenced all of the British traders to death. However, the British were pardoned by Siraj-ud-Dawla after they begged for mercy. One of the British traders who had been pardoned by Siraj-ud-Dawla was Robert Clive, who sent a letter to one of Siraj-ud-Dawla's close ministers promising to appoint him as the ruler of Bengal if he collaborated with the British. This plan was successful, and Siraj-ud-Dawla was dethroned by the British with the help of corrupt Indian generals who betrayed Siraj-ud-Dawla. The defeat of Siraj-ud-Dawla in the Battle of Palashi in 1757 paved the way for the British conquest of India and the collapse of the Mughal Empire. The Mughal Empire officially came to an end when the British crushed the Indian Rebellion of 1857, led by the last Mughal king Bahadur Shah Zafar, who was later exiled by the British to Burma, where he passed away in 1862.